Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is 3:23 a.m. Can we just talk about Darlene Jolene Joe right here and her jazzy gals? Darlene Jolene Joe and her jazzy gals from Schitt's Creek are doing a little side. Look at this. This is like my friend's haircuts in high school. You know, they had the haircut that went down like this and was real short on the side. I think the Kate Goslin is what we call it now, but back then it was like punk rock. It's not punk rock these days. It just looks bad. I just woke up a little while ago. Do you want to guess what side of my head I was sleeping on? I look so bad tonight. And we're going to go on a little adventure. So, I'm actually going to do a loop around and then come back to this McDonald's if it's open. I'm going to get a Diet Coke because I'm dying for a Diet Coke. And I'm completely out of Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi at home. I'm drinking water right now. And so I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do a loop first. And then we are going to drive up to Anderson because the casino opens at 6 a.m. this morning. It's 3:24. And I think my good Judy Valerie is going to be up there because she has been dying to go to the casino. And so we were talking the other day, and I said, she was like, come on, let's meet up there. And I said, I don't really think I'm going to. And she was like, well, first of all, I don't know really how comfortable I am. And doing that. But the other thing is that the rules for the casino are such as follows. You have to have your temperature taken before you go in. You don't have to wear a mask, but everybody that works there is wearing a mask. But I would, obviously. You have to be 6 feet apart from every person, social distancing inside there. Every other machine is closed off, or turned off. And then they have to wash down every machine after you play it. Like, you have to, like, call somebody over and they have to wash down each machine after you play it. Or something like that. I don't know how they know, but... So... And then it's 50% capacity. Which late at night when we go anyway, it's not busy, so that won't be a problem. But I told her, I said, oh, and no food or drink on the floor, which means, like, because, you know, I mean, part of the fun for me is going up there and having a little fountain pop or a coffee or whatever, you know, that you get for free. And I said, so we can't sit next to each other because we're going to be 6 feet apart. And a lot of the machines that we play in are like in a round kind of thing. Like one of them that we play at is like there's 6 machines in this kind of kiosk thing. So I'm not going to be able to see her. And that's why I go, is to be social and see her, you know. I mean, I go to have fun and play and stuff like that, but like, you know, it's mostly to see her and hang out. And I said, I'm not going to be able to see you. I said, we're going to have to wait for machines constantly because they don't have like a huge cleaning crew anyway. So on top of the busyness that the casino cleaning crew is doing anyway, we're gonna have to wait for them to clean each machine. I said, then on top of that, like, I'm not super comfortable going, like, you know. And I think she just has total cabin fever because she really hasn't done anything. And I think that's why she's dying to go. And I said, and then to go and not really be able to enjoy it. And it's not their fault. I mean, they're just following protocol, which I think is great, right? But I said to go and then to not really be able to enjoy it and lose money, you know, like, I haven't been since March, and it's been like it's been over 3 months. Well, I don't know. I think it's been just about exactly 3 months. And, I mean, do I miss going up there? Sure, I had a good time, but do I miss it that much? No, not really. And I have this nail file. My nail is, like, clipped on the end. I don't know what happened to it. So I was filing my nail with this little Sephora nail this little Sephora nail file that I got in my, Sephora advent calendars. You guys remember all those advent calendars I did at Christmas time? That was so much fun. So anyway, yeah, but like, oh, that's the better side. It's smoother now. I'm so weird about my nails. So I told her, I said, yeah, I'm not like super comfortable about going. Like, I just feel like it's kind of a waste. I said, I'll let you go first and see how it is. And if it's fun, then maybe I'll meet you like, you know, some night in the next week or two. And she was like, okay, I'll see you Sunday night. Like joking, like I would be there. Because back in the day, like I would say, oh, I'm not going to go. I'm just going to, you know, whatever. And she'd say, okay, I'll see you on Wednesday night. And then I would end up, you know, meeting her there. Because like late at night when I'm up, like sometimes like after I do my vlog or whatever, you know, like I'd be like, oh, I don't really want to go to bed. Or so I would go meet Valerie. Or you guys know, I've talked about it on here. So anyway, but I have really absolutely no desire to go tonight. But I do want to see if she's going to go. So she texted me and she said, this was yesterday, I think. She texted me and she said, I think I'm going to go early. And I'm like, go early? Like, you... Oh, maybe she meant early, like she was going to go at 6 a.m. and stay in the morning. Because she sometimes goes during the day. Maybe that's what she meant. I thought she meant early, like she was going to get up there, like, early before 6 a.m. when they opened. I don't know. So anyway... But then she just texted me a while ago when I was asleep, and she said, are you up vlogging? And I texted her back, and I said, I just got back. It was like 20 minutes after she texted me. I just got back. I just got up, I said. And I texted her, and I said, I just got up, and she hasn't texted me back. So maybe she fell asleep. I don't know. She kind of keeps weird hours like I do. Anyway... I love you, Valerini. I'm about to go on an adventure and see if Valerini is at the casino. And then if she is, I'm going to surprise her. I'm going to pull up next to her and she's going to think I'm going in, but I'm not going to be going in. I'm just going to pull up and say hi and then leave. So I thought we would go on a little adventure up there today. Because I really want to get home to finish. They're playing all these great songs on the radio tonight. I want to get home and finish 13 Reasons Why, which I don't think I'll be able to tonight because I've got 2 episodes left. And you guys, let me just tell you about 13 Reasons Why, the final season. It is the most chaotic, crazy season that show, of any show I've seen in a long time. It goes to such a... just crazy place with stuff. Major trigger warning if you're gonna watch the show. I mean, this hairdo, you guys, come on now. I'm gonna get it fixed. I'm getting my hair cut again on Friday, actually. It's just a lot to watch. Like, I mean, it is a lot. I'm not, like, I don't feel triggered by a lot when I watch TV shows and stuff, but it's, like, even for me, it's hard to watch. I'm just kind of like, this is, like... I don't, for a show that's geared towards teenagers, I don't know, I just feel like... But I want to finish it and find out, you know, what happens. I don't know what I'm going to watch next. I was asking Alex. He's watching Dead Like Me. He loves it. I may watch Grace and Frankie next. I think I feel like I need something lighthearted. So I want to be caught up on all of my shows. So I may watch Grace and Frankie next, and then Alex and I need to finish season 2 and season 3 of Handmaid's Tale. We're like 3 episodes into season 2, so we need to finish that. And then I don't know what. I was thinking about watching either this new show Run on HBO with that Merritt Weaver that was in Unbelievable. Because I looked her up, I really liked her. It just started. I was going to watch that. I was going to watch Ozark. I was going to watch from the very beginning because I haven't watched Ozark. I was going to watch... I'm really kind of intrigued to watch Ozark, honestly. I was going to watch True Crime Season 3. I was going to watch Homecoming. I'm not super interested in that show. Little Fires Everywhere, Alex wants to watch too. And then I also have Big Little Lies, the second season. And I never did watch, I was thinking about this yesterday, I never did finish watching Sharp Objects or Mindhunter. I started those and never finished them. And my neighbor Laura is reading Sharp Objects right now. And we were talking about it, because I was like, I don't think I've ever read a Gillian Flynn book. I don't know if I listened, maybe I did read, that would have been kind of before my I've always listened to audiobooks, but I listened to mostly audiobooks. That would have been before that, so I would have read the book. What's the book? The Gillian Flynn book that changed all mysteries and people started doing everything that way. Why can't I think of what that book is called? With Ben Affleck is in the movie. About the wife. And then the Paula Hawkins books came out. Girl on the Train came out afterwards and all that kind of stuff. You know, that Girl on a Train should have come out. Not Girl on a Train. Woman in the Window should have come out as a movie. Did it come out and I completely missed it? I wonder if you can get that on demand. Because I loved that book. Oh my God, Woman in the Window was such a great book. But anyway, Gillian Flynn actually wrote the introduction to I'll Be Gone in the Dark, One Woman's Obsessive Search for the Golden State Killer by Michelle McNamara. Because Michelle McNamara loved Gillian Flynn books, and then when she passed away, her husband, Patton Oswalt, the actor, had Gillian Flynn, who she had met, I think she had met her one time at a convention. It's in the book. And he had her do the introduction to the book. Because it goes in and it talks about it at the beginning of the book. Apparently there's supposed to be a documentary or some show that's coming out about the Golden State Killer. I think this month on Netflix. Maybe this week. It may have just come out. I think it was the 12th maybe I thought it was supposed to come out. Something like that. So I've got all those shows I want to watch. So I've got a summer full of shows to watch. What else? Alex and I were talking about our birthdays today. His birthday's next Sunday. My birthday is the following Monday. And I felt kind of sad. Alex always gets so excited about his birthday every year. I'm kind of real low key. For my birthday, well, the last couple years we've traveled. So, right out on time. For the last couple of years we've traveled. So we've given each other trips for our birthdays. And the first year we traveled for our birthdays, it was my birthday. And then the next year was his birthday. And we go back and forth. When we go, and where it lands, whose birthday it lands on, because we're only a week apart. And but when I first got together with Alex, and he would spend a month or two planning his birthday, and he would do some huge dinner, and he would invite 30 people, and more than that, and then he would get a VIP section or rent out a place. He sometimes would rent out a place and have a huge birthday party for himself. He loved to do that, have everybody come and dance. And he did that for a couple years until we started traveling. Now I don't love that. I don't love all that attention on me. But Alex loves to celebrate his birthday. He loves to celebrate his birthday week, his birthday month, everything. I'm not I don't care that much. And I've kind of talked recently on here about why maybe that is. But for my birthday, I loved going to the movie theater and seeing a double feature. And then we would go see 2 movies, and then we would go to Steak and Shake in between and get Frisco burgers and shakes and stuff. And then we would see a second movie and then come back and maybe go for a swim, or we would go for a swim during the day. One year we laid out, Tanya, Alex, and my friend Liz and I, the 4 of us laid out And then we went home and took naps because we were like out there all day. We had gotten these, I used to love this salad. It was called an enchilada. I have no idea how to make it. I wish I knew how to make it. It's with like corn and these little like tortilla chips and all this kind of stuff. I have no idea how to make this, and I wish I knew how to make this salad. It was called an enchilada, and it was at this salad place here in town called When Harry Met Salad that closed. And it was hands down the best salad in the entire world. And, but they closed down, so I have no idea how to make them. But we had like gone that day and gotten like salads and brought them to the pool and ate by the pool. It was really a fun day. And that might have been my 40th, actually. Maybe. I was like telling Alex tonight, I'm kind of losing it. Like, I thought that we were together, like I said something about this. I said, can you believe this is like our 8th year married, and our whatever, and he goes, this is our he said this is our 9th wedding anniversary, and I was like, oh yeah, it is. And how many years have we been together? This isn't our 14th year together. It can't be. This isn't going to be our 14th anniversary. No, we weren't together 5 years before we got married. We got together in 2008. This will be our 12th year together. So, yeah. 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11. Why can I not do the math on this in my head? So 2008 to 2018 to 2019, yeah, it'll be our 12th year together, and a 12-year anniversary, and then 2011 to 2020 is our 9-year anniversary. Is that right? Yeah, 9-year anniversary. It seems so weird. But anyway, my math is so bad. I'm sitting here doing it on my fingers and I still can't do it. It always has been that bad, you guys. Like, I just don't trust myself. I like double check it and whatever, you know, over and over and over again. So anyway, but I said to him tonight, I said, well, what have you decided what you, because I've been asking him, I'm like, what do you want to do for your birthday and what do you want for your birthday? And he's like, I said, what have you decided what you want for your birthday yet? I mean, it's kind of getting down to the wire. Like, if I'm going to order him something, like, I have to know, like, we're a week out, you know what I mean? If I could even get it here by then anyway. And he's like, I don't really know what I want for my birthday. There's not really anything I want. And I said, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, I just can't think of anything that I would really want. He goes, let me think about it. And the thing is that, like, for me, like, I'm pretty easy to buy for. I mean, honestly, I am, because I'll say, like, oh, I want this from time to time, or oh, I want that, and then, like, Alex, what do you mean? You know, I'm not, like, hard to buy for. And Alex typically, like, we've gotten each other gift certificates a lot, or gift cards, because, but, like, Alex, like, if I try to do something special, like, I was thinking about buying him a watch for his birthday, because he started wearing watches in, like, the last 2 to 3 years. He never did before, and now he loves watches. So I thought, well, I'll get him a nice watch. I'm not talking a Rolex. I'm talking about, like, you know, a couple $100, nice watch, get it engraved, you know, with something from me on it, or his birth date, or something like that. And, but I can't find a watch that I think that he would like. The watches that I looked at that I think that he really, I mean, he would love, like, a Louis Vuitton watch, but, like, I'm not paying a couple $1,000s for a watch. And if I did, it wouldn't be a Louis Vuitton watch. I mean, it would be a higher end watch that, like, the watchmaker knows what they're doing about it. And I'm not, like, we don't need that. You know what I mean? Like, at least not right now. Hold on a second. I hope they're open. Hello? There's all these cars of people working here, but I don't see anybody. I always see that Ronald McDonald sitting out front. I always think they're open. I don't really think Alex would care that much. Like, I really, for a long time, like, my dream watch, literally, you guys, for 20 years, has been, a Cartier tank watch. Like, you know how people are, like, some people, like, have to have this car, have to have that, or whatever, you know, or, like, in their life, there's that, like, one luxury piece that they would really like to have, which I don't even, like, when I was younger, I really wanted it, and now, as I get older, I'm like, I would like to have it, but I don't feel like, if I don't ever have it in my life, you know. But I saw a Cartier tank watch on somebody when I was probably 26 or 27, and it's been kind of my dream watch forever. But other than that, like, I don't really have any high-end things that I would ever kind of, like, wish or dream for. There's nothing that I need for my birthday this year. There's nothing that I really want for my birthday this year. I mean, I would always love credits on Audible from him, you know. I mean, he asked me, he's like, what do you want? I'm like, I said, why don't we just spend because, like, usually we just spend the money on a vacation, but we can't go anywhere right now. And I said, why don't we just plan on taking a vacation late in the summer? I said, if Las Vegas or Miami or San Diego, those are the 3 places we want to go. I said, if they're not, you know, I'm seeing people travel to Las Vegas and Miami and stuff right now, you know. I said, if we go and, like, or if we decide that we want to do that and it's not safe to go, I said, we'll just do an Airbnb somewhere. I said, but let's just put the money into that, because this is stupid. We're going to end up just spending money for each other on birthday presents that we don't really need. And I said, because, I mean, we have birthday and anniversary together, so it's, like, kind of close, you know. We usually just spend it on a trip. And I said, we're going to end up spending money on things that we don't need. I said, the other thing is we could put it into the house this year. You know, we could spend the money on stuff that we need to do around the house, or we want to get done around the house, like nightstands that we've been talking about for 2 years and haven't done. He's like, yeah, that's true. So, I don't know. But he doesn't know what he wants to do for his birthday. And he goes, I said, well, do you want to just do something, like, with your family? And he just looked at me like I was crazy. I said, like, just do, like, a cake with, like, you know, maybe Carlos could have a cookout, and we could do, like, a cake and stuff. Like, his family, they always do stuff for birthdays, and so it's really nice, you know? And he just looked at me like he's crazy. He's like, I mean, we're going to do that anyway, because they do it for everybody anyway. His mom and I usually are together because she and our birthdays are a day apart. And, but everybody gets, like, a birthday in his family. Like, everybody gets, like, a special birthday day, you know? And, I wonder if this McDonald's is open. I doubt it. If it's not, there's one more along the way I can try. So, it is so cold outside. It's 54 degrees, and I have it on the lowest air conditioning in here. So, I don't know. I mean, birthdays are, like, the worst, like, the least of our matters right now, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much going on in the world, we don't need to be worrying about birthdays anyway. But then I said, like, well, what do you want to do? I felt kind of bad for him, you know? And, I mean, Alex works hard. Like, I like to have him enjoy, like, you know, whatever. And plus, his birthday is on a Sunday, and I don't think he's taking that Monday off. Or maybe he is taking that Monday off. Because he asked me, because my birthday's on a Monday, and he was like, do you want me to take that Monday off? And I was like, you don't have to. We can do something on Sunday, and then maybe that Monday night we can go out to dinner, just the 2 of us or something like that. Or, you know, maybe with, like, Melissa and Jason, or Tanya and my sponsor or something. We'll figure it out. He goes, okay. I said, don't take the day off. Just save the day, because then we can go on it when we travel or something, you know? And he was like, okay. So I said, well, what do you want to do? And he goes, well, typically if we were in town, I'd want to get a bunch of people to go together to go out to dinner. But you can only, I guess it's only 6 people that you can go out to dinner at the time. And I said, okay. And he said, and I'd like to go to a club. This McDonald's is not open. Their sign isn't even on. And he said, I would like to go to a club, but there are no clubs open. And I said, he goes, typically I would go to a club, but there are no clubs open. And I said, okay. And I said, so what do you want to do? And he said, I don't know. I'm like, well, I mean, there aren't a lot of options past, you know, for you past that, so. I'd love to just, I don't know, maybe we'll just do like for my day, like a picnic or something. I said to him, I said, do you want to do like I told him, because I flat out told him I don't want to drive by birthday. Like, don't do that for me. Like, I don't like that much attention on me. But I said, do you want me to like arrange like a drive-by, like where people, not like, you know, but like where people drive by and honk and stuff. And he is actually somebody that would really enjoy that. And he looked at me and he goes, I feel like we're kind of past that. And I said, well, babe, I'm just trying to, you know, make your birthday special. And he goes, I know. He was like, but I don't really know what I want to do. I'm like, okay. Makes it easy for me. I tried to plan a surprise party for him a couple years ago. And so he arranged the whole thing. This was for his 30th. Actually, it was at his friend Jason's old apartment. And he arranged the whole thing. Like his friend Jason's, not his apartment, but his pool area. He arranged the whole thing and then told me who to call and have him. So all I had to do was call them and tell them what time to be there. He didn't want me to arrange the party at all. He wanted to do it himself. He had the theme. He wanted it to be all gold, what do you call it? Oh, I also had to pick up the balloons, which were like, I had to go pay for all these. I didn't care about paying for them, but it was like picking them up, and they were like these huge balloons that said 3-0, because he wanted the photo op of like the 3-0 together, you know, which I'm sure is on his Instagram if you want to go check it out. So I had to get all these like balloons, and that was a fun night, though. We had a good time. It wasn't that many people. That was probably just like 15 people. It was really fun. We have a lot of couples that we're friends with in Indianapolis, and it's been kind of nice because, like, you know, when we met, like, we were all single and just, like, dating or had just met, or, you know, like, my reference point is being with Alex. So, like they met after, you know, Alex and I were together or whatever, and we met them from going out and they started dating. But there's probably about 4 couples, maybe more than that, 4 or 5 couples that like all got together around like in the same first year. Like we all got together the first year and started dating, and we've kind of known each other all since then. And, you know, they've like gotten married, and some have had kids, and some have gotten, you know, houses and all this kind of stuff. But it's nice because, you know, like, we've all kind of like grown up together in that scene. Some of them are like, it's funny because when we were going out, a lot of them are closer to my age and to Alex's, and you'd think that, you know, in that time of going out, they would be closer to my age. So, God, I can remember when we first got together, we were going out all the time. Well, the first, I would say, year that we were together, Alex and I, maybe the first 6 months to a year. Okay, so the first August until June. August until June, we pretty much exclusively went to gay bars. Well, we would go to this thing on Wednesday night, was it Wednesday or Thursday nights at the Jazz Kitchen here in Indianapolis, and it was salsa night. And we would get there at 9 o'clock because from 9 to 10 they did salsa lessons, and it was like when everybody would just kind of hang out and talk. And then from 10 to 12 they had salsa, and in the middle of all that they had a salsa competition. And Alex and his cousin Maya would always enter the salsa competition. They're such good salsa dancers. Alex is like, oh my God. He is so sexy to watch dance. I love watching him salsa dance. My husband's such a great dancer. So we would do that on Thursdays, and then Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays we would typically, you know, go to gay bars and see drag shows and do that kind of stuff. And we'd go to the Connection in Louisville every once in a while. And then Wednesday nights we went to Champs here in town, which Champs was like this restaurant, but they have like this patio bar. I think it's a... Okay, you guys, it has been a few. When the camera stopped, I got a phone call. It was not Valerie. I thought it was Valerie, but it was a recovery friend of mine. So I talked to her for a second, and then I went through and got a Diet Coke at this McDonald's off the interstate. I just went and did that. And so now I'm back. And I don't really remember what I was talking about. So I think I was talking about, like, we used to go out a lot in the summer, and I don't even remember really, honestly, what I was talking about. Something to do with Champs, I think. But Melissa and I and Jason and Alex used to go eat at Champs all the time. And we went there, was I talking about, like, going out that, I think I was talking about, like, going out that first summer that we were together. But, Melissa and Jason and I, actually for Whorehound weekend, we went to go eat at Champs downtown because Melissa and Alex and I are obsessed with these Mile High nachos. Jason's actually a really healthy eater. Like, when we go places, he always gets, like, salmon or, you know, like, really, he's a really healthy eater. And the rest of us are not so much. But we went down there because Melissa and Alex are always like, Mile High nachos with, like, the chili and everything on it. I don't get that because I'm a vegetarian, obviously, but we went down there and ate. It was good. The menu had changed a little bit, but they still had the Mile High nachos on it. But back in the day, we would, on Wednesday nights, we would go to Champs on Wednesday nights. Actually, this is kind of a funny story. So Alex and I, our first date was on a Monday. Is that right? I would have to look. I'm almost positive our first date was on a Monday. Because Alex and I, like, literally were like, neither one of us were looking for a relationship. It's so funny how it happened. My husband, he will tell you this. He's told it in videos too. He had another date planned for the next night that he went and canceled. And, like, he was a pretty avid dater during those times. Like, he was going on a lot of dates. And, so, I think he may have had 2 dates planned or something. But anyway, we went on a date. And, anyway, that whole summer, like, the first 6 months of our relationship, we went to, like, mostly gay bars and going out and stuff like that. But the following, like, from June on, is when we started going out to a lot of straight clubs, like, pretty exclusively straight clubs. And not for any, like, reason why. Like, we would start, like, on a Saturday night, we would start at a bar called Talbot Street in Indianapolis, or we would go to the Metro on, like, a Friday night where they had, like, you know, did they have drag shows back then? I can't remember, but, like, we would start on a Friday night at, like, the Metro, or Saturday night at Talbot Street. We would watch, like, the drag show at Talbot Street on Saturday night, and then we would stay there for, like, an hour, and then we would go over and, like, we would meet our friends at, like, not necessarily straight bars, but you know, the straight bars downtown in Indianapolis. And so over time, what happened was all of our friends became, like, heterosexual couples, like, literally all of them, with the exception of 2 or 3 people. And it was never like, I mean, it wasn't like we, I mean, I like going out to gay bars. I have a blast at gay bars. But we just kind of stopped going. And then the Indianapolis gay scene kind of, like, died around here a little bit. Like, bars started closing down, and it just, like, there weren't a lot of places to go. There really weren't a lot of big clubs anymore and stuff. There still aren't, you know? So anyway, but Alex and I think our first date was on a Monday night. I would have to look and see what it was back then, but, Carlos was in town from Venezuela visiting. He was here for 3 months. And people always ask on our Q&As, how did you and Alex meet? Well, here's kind of, I mean, so I had seen him in April of 2008 before my mom had passed away. And I had seen him out at a bar with his 2 friends, and one of them was the guy that we visited in Dallas, and they were always the 3 of them together. And I just thought my camera turned off. I don't know why I keep on like seeing problems with my camera, but anyway, they were always the 3 of them together. And I can remember I had seen Alex like a couple times, and I thought like he didn't really like stick in my mind, but I just remember thinking he was really handsome. And at the time, his hair was like really curly, and his hair looked exactly like it does now. I'm like, I love my husband's hair right now. I think it looks so sexy. And I remember he used to always wear these like driving moccasin shoes that I thought were so cute. Well, anyway, the first time I really saw him, like paid attention. Like other times I'd see him, I'd be like, that guy's cute, but I didn't really pay any mind. The first time that I really, that was in April. When my ex and I broke up in December, my friend Liz that lives in Oakland, she was like, you gotta get cause she's a lot younger than me. She was like, I think she's 31 or 32. Like, she and Tanya and I were like real close. And she was like, you gotta get a Facebook and a MySpace and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, what? And she was like, yeah, you need to do this, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so I was like, hold on a second. I'm like trying to figure out the timing. No, she's got to be older than that. Are her and Alex the same age? That can't be. Maybe they are. I don't know. But anyway, so she was like, you got to get a MySpace, and you got to get a Facebook, and you've got to have all this kind of stuff. And I remember we sat over at this friend of hers house my friend Liz at the time, there was this lesbian bar in Indianapolis called the 10, and we would go, it was on Thursday nights, we would go to the 10, and it was like, Thursday nights was like their gay guy night, and they had like half drink specials and stuff like that, so it was packed on Thursday nights. Now, I remember going to the 10 back in the day because they had the best drag show in Indianapolis, and so when I was like 21, I would go to the 10. They called it the Dirty Dime. It doesn't exist anymore. It closed down. It's really sad because it was really a fun bar, but it was a dirty bar. Anyway, so she and I would go there, and it was like me and her, and like she dated several girls that summer, and like just friends of theirs, and her friend lived probably 2 miles from Tanya. And so we would go over there and we would watch the L Word. Do you remember that show? And so I used to call my friend's house the L Word house. And so we would all hang out together. Thank God for those girls, because those girls got me through my first month or 6 months single, because I don't know what I would do without them. Like, they like took me in and we all went out together, and it was a lot of fun. So anyway, but she was like, you got to get a MySpace and you got to get a Facebook, okay? So I'm coming out into, into 2007, beginning of 2008, and I don't know anything about social media. I have nothing to do with these internet dating sites, nothing. I don't know anything about it. I've never been on one of those dating sites to this day. Never been on an application, nothing, none of those things. They scare me. I don't like them. I just don't, So anyway, and I honestly think, like, if Alex and I broke up, which God forbid, I hope that doesn't happen, but I think if we did, I don't think I would get on them. I really don't. I mean, I would maybe get on them just to see what they're about or something like that, but I just don't really, and I don't judge them. Like, half of my friends are on them, and I, wish them the best. It scares me for them. I'm always like, be safe, go meet in a public place and stuff like that, which they think is crazy that I say, but I don't know. I think the older I get, I'm definitely not a prude, but I'm very traditional about things. Who was I telling this to? I feel like I was telling my friend this last night at the barbecue that, like, I honestly don't know, like, if Alex and I broke up that I would ever date again. Like, I really don't. Like, I've kind of thought about it. Like, it's a lot to, like, meet somebody and start dating and getting to know their family, and they get to know yours and all that. It's a lot, and I've been very blessed to have fantastic relationships in my life. I don't know that I would go through it again. You know, I just really don't, honestly. I think, like, unless I just, like, organically met somebody that was just ended up being the love of my life, I don't think I would. Like, I don't know that I would push the issue. Do I think I'd be lonely? Absolutely. But, you know, I think I have dogs and, you know, I don't know, maybe take care of my birds and my plants and just let it be, you know? I don't know. I just don't see myself getting, there isn't really a way to meet people today like there was organically back in the day when we would go out to a bar, and none of my friends go out to bars anymore anyway, so I don't know who I'd go with. I mean, I can't imagine calling Tanya up and being like, you want to go to a gay bar? You know what I mean? And like, and then who would I meet? And so really the only way that you can meet people today is through, like, you know, dating apps and websites and stuff. And I don't know, like, that just all kind of scares me. It really does. Like, when I have this conversation with friends of mine, they just kind of look at me like I'm crazy. They're like, well, what scares you? I've been talking to this guy for, I'm like, I don't know. It just all seems so unnatural to me. Like, you know, does that make any sense? I smell fumes, and I'm wondering if it's from this truck in front of me, or I can't even really identify what the fumes smell like. They're not like gas fumes. I hope it's not from my car. I'm gonna go up here and turn around anyway. Oh, you know what? I have not been to Anderson for so long, but there is this donut place up here. I might have to get some donuts. It's called Deluxe Donuts in Anderson. It's so delicious. But anyway, okay, so I saw Alex out in April, and he was giving birth. There's this bartender that worked at Talbot Street. Alex worked at Talbot Street at one point. He was like a dancer there. It's not a strip bar, but he worked as like they had like dancers, I guess, were like semi-go-go dancers or something. But anyway, that was way before. I never saw him do that. So anyway, that was like right when they opened. They had him dancing like these boxes and stuff. So it was like a Sunday night, and I was there for a drag show, and I was with this girlfriend of mine, a different one, and it was just she and I, and she knew the guy that was, whose birthday it was. It was this guy that was a bartender at Talbot Street. And so she was talking to him, and Alex came up and was like, happy birthday to this guy, and like gave him like these birthday spanks, right? And I was like, who is this guy? He is so cute. It has to be that truck in front of me. It almost kind of smelled like paint fumes, like painting. And I was like, who is this guy? He is so like cute and different looking. And he had like a white t-shirt on that was like, you know, like one of those kind of like kind of just like distressed t-shirts that kind of like rolls over on top, and it was like way v-neck. He had like that on with just like jeans and like those shoes that he used to always wear, I remember. And I just remember standing there thinking, oh my God, he is so cute. So, I was at home, and it was like, after that night, I didn't meet him or anything. I didn't talk to him or anything. He was sitting at like a table from us. And I asked my friend, I was like, do you know him? And she's like, yeah. He and his boyfriend broke up like a month ago. And I knew who his boyfriend was because it was like this whole crew that worked together at this bar. They were all friends, and like his boyfriend was friends with all of them. And so I knew who he was. And was like, I had met him and was like, hey, how are you? But like didn't really know him and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's his boyfriend? Like I couldn't put them together. Like it didn't make sense in my head, you know, kind of thing. So anyway, and she really liked this DJ that worked there, but like, so this DJ was dating this other girl, and they were all friends with Alex's ex and his friends. So anyway, it made it quite uncomfortable when we first started dating, when we all went out. So anyway, but then we got along and we were totally fine. And now, like, I mean, it's been so long. I mean, it's been 12 years, but like whenever I see his ex is always super friendly and really, I mean, he's a really nice guy. So anyway, we've grown up. Let's just say we've all grown up quite a bit. Alex and him most of all, because I didn't really want to be thrown into the mix of all of that back then. But anyway, so so I was at home, and it was like a week later, it was like a couple days later or something. And I messaged, I was on MySpace. And you know, like when you would look through people and it would be like their top 6 friends or whatever. I don't know who I was looking through, but I was looking through somebody and his face came up. And I can, like, in my head, I can see the picture that he had. And it was like him, and he was like in this blue shirt, and he was like holding a drink like this, like cheering somebody. And I was like, oh my God, it's that guy that I saw at Talbot Street. And I was like, he is so cute. And of course, you know, I have this horrible social anxiety. Like, I didn't really go on dates unless people asked me, and then basically my friends had to set the whole thing up, even at 36. It was just ridiculous. So anyway, so I was like, just send him a message. So, and at this point, my mom is like really sick. So, it's like a month before she passed away. So I sent him a message. Where is my chapstick? I sent him a message and I said, hey, like, I saw you out the other night. And I explained how I saw him, like, giving birthday spanks to so-and-so. And I said, I find you very attractive. I think you have kind eyes. And I'd like to take you on a date sometime. I was so nervous to send that. Oh my God, I had never asked anybody anything like that in my life. I was so nervous. So anyway, and I hit send, right? I can't believe I met my husband on MySpace, but whatever. But you know, like, that was back in the day. Like, I can remember, like, I was like so obsessed. I had like the best MySpace. It was all black and white. And I had this Malcolm McLaren song playing called Paris, Paris in the background, and I had all these cool pictures. It was very artsy. You know, it was all like Naomi Campbell supermodel kind of stuff. It was very cool. Very minimalist, you know. So anyway, but I sent him the message, and like, you know, like you wait when you send a message like that for somebody to contact you back. And he contacted me back, and he was like, hey, thanks for your message. I'm still interested in my ex. What did he say? He was like, oh, thank you for saying thank you for saying I'm handsome. I'm not a kind person. Or something like that. I'm not a kind person, and I'm still interested in my ex, but thank you anyway. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, what is that about? So anyway, I didn't really think much more about it. And then I would see him out, you know, from time to time and whatever. So that whole summer, I was going out to Denver, like, every other week, like I've talked on here about. And did date a few people in Denver. And things, but not really. Like, I didn't really date. Like, I'm just not a good dater. Like, if I like somebody, if I meet you and I like you, like, I know I can tell somebody in the first 5 minutes. Like, when I would go on a date with somebody, I could tell in the first 5 minutes whether I was wasting my time or whether I wanted to spend the rest of my life with them. I really can tell that in the first 5 minutes, if it clicks or it doesn't click. I'm not somebody that, like, let you grow on me. Like, I just know right away. And I was meeting a lot of people that it just didn't feel that way. Or I could, like, within, like, the first 10 minutes of meeting them, you know, like, a lot of my friends were, like, a lot of girlfriends of mine were, like, introducing me to people, you know. And I would, like, within, like, the first 10 minutes, I would be like, you know, we would meet up at a bar or something like that. They would be like, okay, well, you're going to meet this guy. He's really nice and whatever. And we would meet, and I'd be like, it was either like, I mean, and maybe this is shallow, but it was like, you know, either like he's boring or he's not good looking or like he doesn't talk or, you know, like I asked him 3 questions and he just gave me 1 word answer. You know, it's just whatever. I was like piecing him apart. Like there was just always something that wasn't there. And I think the thing for me was that with my 2 previous boyfriends, like, both times that I met them, like, it was like first night, like, I was like, oh my God, like, in love the first night. Like, I felt that, like, inside my heart, like, first night, you know? Like, I can remember the first night that I met my very first boyfriend, and my old roommate and I, it was a black and white horse just standing out there. It looked like something you'd see in a cartoon. And it was Halloween, or the Wednesday before Halloween or something, because they used to do drag shows on Wednesday nights in the Metro. And his brother was gay, and I knew his brother, and so I knew his brother and his brother's boyfriend, and so we met out, and he was with them, and like, I met him that night, and I just was like, oh my God, like, and that was like, you know, the first time that I met him. And then, which I was, we were 23 and 21. And then with my ex, I had seen him out at Utopia a couple times. And every time I would see him dancing, I just was like, I just would stand and watch him. And then finally, my friend said, if you don't go get his number, I'm going to get it. And I was like, ugh. So I went and talked to him. Actually, what I did, this is really shitty, but he and his best friend were always there, and I was too nervous to talk to him. So I had talked to his best friend like once or twice, who I didn't know at the time had a huge crush on me. I had no clue until like 2 years later. So I went up to his best friend. I was kind of like dancing there, and he was like standing to the side, but I wasn't talking to him because I'd never talked to him, but I had talked to his best friend like once or twice, just like, hey, how are you? And I said, hey, I have a question for you. And he said, what? And I said, is your friend single? So I feel so bad about it looking back. And he said, why don't you ask my friend? And he turned and he walked away. And so I turned to my ex and I said, hi, I'm Peter. And he was like, said his name. And so I had Matchbook, and I had written my number inside of it. And I took it and I like reached in and I put it in his back pocket, and I said, give me a call sometime. And I like walked away. Now, it must be known that I like people that are kind of challenging, okay? I like people that like kind of challenge my spirit a little bit. So I thought that was very romantic, of course. It became this inside joke between us. We would always like write little notes to each other in matchbooks when we were out and stuff like that. So I'm standing over with my friend, nervous as hell, right? Hoping that he'll call me that night or something, right? And he comes over and he stands in front of me, and it's me and my friend who's like always making fun of me. Like, I'm always like you know, like you have that friend that everybody makes fun of because they just think they're putting themselves in stupid situations. Well, that's me. So anyway, so we're standing there watching on the edge of the dance floor. He comes up. I wish I could imitate it. I don't have like a matchbook or anything in here, but he was like this. And he was like holding this matchbook, and he goes, really? And I go, what? He goes, you're gonna put some pathetic little matchbook in the back of my pocket and expect me to call? I go, okay. And he goes, he comes to me and he goes, I'm gonna give you my number, you're gonna call me, and you're gonna ask me out on a date if you want to do something with me, or something like that. It was something like that. I was like, okay. And then we talked the next day, and we talked for like 2 hours on the phone, and then he came up like the following Wednesday, and we had our first date. And so Alex and I, that was with my ex, so Alex and I, so I sent him this message, and then I'm going to Denver. I had decided I was gonna move to Denver. Like, I literally, like, I had picked the area. If you know Denver, I wanted to move to Lodo. My friend lived in Cherry Creek, which I, of course, could not afford. I could hardly afford the Lodo area, which is like kind of artsy. Then, I don't know what it's like now, but then it was like artsy lofts and things like that, and it was kind of in like a bar district area, and it was like it would have been a fun place to be, you know, 36 and single. And he lived there, and then my, you know, Aunt Susie's there, and so I felt like, okay, this is just a natural move for me, and like, there's nothing in Indianapolis for me, and, you know, that's how I felt. I was like, there's nothing here for me, except for my dad and my stepmom, and they don't care, you know, I can come visit them whenever I want. So I was like, I'm gonna move to Denver. Like, I was real excited about it, and, so I went like the second week of August to Denver, and with the plan that I was going to come out in September and start looking at some places, and I was going to put, at the time I was still living in my apartment, and I was going to put my mom's condo, which I now live in, up for sale. And you know, my aunt and Caroline and stuff were here at the time, and they were real encouraging. They were like, get out of here. There's like, you know, like, why would you stay? Like, you know, like, if you could go to Denver. I loved Denver. I still love Denver. I mean, it just was, the weather there was beautiful. Do you know, Denver has supposedly, I think it's like the most continuous days of sun, or the most days of sun in the continental United States. And everybody that I met was so friendly, and people were like, everybody that you would meet would be like, yeah, my family has like, we should go up, my family has a cabin in like, you know, at Aspen, or, you know, whatever different skiing place, you know, and, or they'd be like, yeah, we should go do this, or we should go do that. I mean, everybody just was so nice. And it was very mixed crowd too. Like, you go to a gay bar and it was like, you know, gay, lesbian, straight, like, it was just really, everything was really friendly and mixed, and I just loved it. It just was really, I don't know, it was fun. And, actually, my friend and his husband, they lived in this beautiful townhouse in Cherry Creek, which was part of, I think, why I wanted to move there, that looked right down towards the street of, like, Nordstrom, and where all the restaurants were and stuff. And my friend, oh my God, the battery is dying. Please tell me I brought the other battery. My friend, and he and his husband, he drove a black one, and just like Alex's new Jeep Wrangler, and his husband drove an orange one. They had matching Jeep Wranglers, and he would take the doors off, and he would let me drive it the whole weekend, and it was so much fun. So anyway, I'm never gonna get this story out of how I met my husband, or am I? Please tell me I brought this stupid battery with me. I know I did. I know I put it in here, because I did it right before I left. Damn it, Janet, where is it at? So, I found it. I just gotta find a place to turn into it. I'm not doing it out here in the middle of nowhere. So anyway, because I turned off, now look, it's out of focus. So anyway, I got back from Denver, and I got a message from, oh, come on. I hate this camera when it does this. I got a message from Alex, and he, on MySpace, and he said, so when are you going to take me, this was literally all it said. He goes, so when are you going to take me on the date? And I said, oh, and I messaged him back, and I was like, come on, you stupid camera. He was like, when are you going to take me on this date? And I was like, oh, are you over your ex-boyfriend now? And he messaged me back, and he was like, yeah. You guys, I'm sorry. I will restart it here in a second when I pull in somewhere to change the battery, but until then, it's just going to have to be out of focus because it just keeps on going in and out, and I don't know why. Is that better? Does that help? So, so stupid. Why is it doing that? Okay. I pulled into this little Phillips 66 gas station that looks like the beginning of House of a Thousand Corpses. And, so get me the hell out of here. Where across the street is a electrical deal, you know, fenced in. So anyway, he texted me, or he messaged me, and he was like, when are you going to take me on this date? And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, this was April, May, June, July, August. This is, you know, 5 months, April, May, June, July, August. It's 5 months later. And I'm like, I kind of forgotten about him, honestly. You know, like I would see him out from time to time, but I didn't really think much about him. And he was like, when are you going to take me on this date? So I messaged him back, and I said, oh, are you over your boyfriend now? Now, let me tell you about Peter at that time, okay? I was in the best shape of my life. I was a vegetarian at the time, but I was like a super healthy vegetarian. And I would go to Whole Foods every day, and for dinner, I would go to like their deli, and I would buy like really healthy stuff to eat. Like I was eating orzo salad and couscous, and like every once in a while I'd get like these corn cakes. But I was eating super, super, super healthy. And, oh, I did eat egg salad sandwiches every once in a while. They had really good egg salad sandwiches, which I can't stand today. But I was working out every day, lifting weights. I was in the best shape of my life. And I was very confident. I was still very numb from what I had gone through with my mom, but I was just very confident. Like, I was like, I was starting to kind of settle into the new me, if that makes sense. And I wasn't really sure I wanted to be in a relationship. I didn't really feel like I wanted to be in a relationship. I didn't want to be tied down. And I was pretty sure I wanted to move. And I was like, there's really no point for me to go on any kind of dates at this point when I'm going to probably be out of here in the next 2 to 3 months. And, you know, oh, the other thing is that at the time, Tanya was like really thinking about moving to Tennessee or Florida. Like, she had really pretty much planned to be out by like in the next like 6 months to a year. And so she was like, I really like, and I thought if Tanya's not going to be here, like Tanya's literally like the only reason why I would stay, you know? And I was like, well, if she's going to be gone, like, why would I stay here? Like, I'm not going to have anybody, you know? So, everybody I had known, like, in that first year had kind of settled down and, like, were in relationships and all that. So so anyway, we planned on going on a date, and, like, the day before I messaged him and I canceled. And I was like, yeah, I can't go. And he was like, okay. He was like, well, when do you want to reschedule? And I was like, I don't want to reschedule. And then I was like, well, we can do it like the following Wednesday or Thursday or something. I can't remember when we scheduled. It was just like the following week or something. I think he messaged me like the first week in August. I was gone like the first weekend or something, and I came back. And so, look, I put him off twice. I canceled the date twice. And so then he was like, okay, can we, like, when do you want to go? Like, he really was pushing to go on this date. And I was like, okay, like, I had never really had anybody that wanted to go on a date with me that bad, you know? And so it was nice. And so I said, okay, Monday. Well, that weekend was the white party at Talbot Street. And I went with 3 of my friends, sober friends, girls, to the white party, which is like the end of the year party, you know, that a lot of bars have, and like, you know, they have in like the East Coast and stuff like that. So we went to this white party, and I will never forget, I was upstairs at this, like, they had an upstairs area where there was like this little bar that overlooked the dance floor and stuff. And we were up there, and I saw him come up, and he had on like boxer briefs and like a white t-shirt and a white vest and those shoes. And he came over, and he was like very intoxicated. And I saw him like walk over kind of like to the bar and like look around, and then he turned and he walked back, and I was like, please don't see me, please don't see me, please don't. I mean, he was like really intoxicated. And he like, right as he like walked by us, he like turned and looked at me, and he came over and he goes, have you seen my pants? And I go, no. And he goes, okay. Something like, okay, they must be in coat check or something like that. And then he like turned and kept on walking, and then he stopped and he came back and he licked my cheek. And my friends were like, who is that guy? And I go, I have a date with him on Monday. So then that night I go home, and of course, you know, I don't drink or whatever, and he calls me, and like, because we had exchanged numbers at that point, and he asked me to come. He was like at a friend's house downtown, staying at a friend's house downtown, and he asked me to come and snuggle with him, cuddle with him, which, like, we're not, neither one of us are big cuddlers. Like, I'm just not. I mean, today we do, but like back then we just, you know. So anyway, I was never a big cuddler. And so, he was like, come down here and cuddle with me. And I was like, I don't even know where you're staying. And it was like very weird. But anyway, I tease him about it to this day. So anyway, so then Monday, we went on this date. Well, he was going to school downtown, and so I had to, he, after school, went to a friend of his house. We have like a really good friend of ours. She now lives in she actually dates a guy from here that's like, Alex and her went to high school together, and her boyfriend's like 5 years older than me. Like, and we're like, he and I both like went to the same like high school. We like knew a lot of the same people, and like he's kind of part of that group that we all hung out with that first year. But she and her kids live in Florida. They just started dating like 2 years ago. He's a super nice guy. It feels like every time we fly to Miami, like he's always like at the airport when we were there. So anyway, but at the time she had gone through a kind of scandalous divorce, and she lived in this, I'll never forget this condo she lived in. It was absolutely amazing. It was at 9th and College downtown, and it was like, so Alex's friend, she looks exactly, I mean to tell you, exactly like a mix between Penelope Cruz and Salma Hayek. And she's gorgeous. She's from Colombia, and she's such a nice person, such a good person. But like when you meet her, you think like, who is this girl? Like, what's the storyline here, you know? And she lived in this apartment that was like on the 3rd floor, and you like take an elevator to the 3rd floor. When you get off, it's like, it goes right into her apartment. It was this unbelievable apartment. And so anyway, but he was at her house, and like all their families are friends and stuff. And so, here we are in Anderson. Let's see if the casino's pumping yet. And if I pull up and Valerie is there, I'm gonna die. But I've got to get this story out now about Alex and I at some point. So anyway, because it's taking me forever. So he came, I like texted him and I said, hey, I'm here. And I was parked on the other side of the street. And he came out, and I remember he had this like blue Abercrombie polo shirt on, and these jeans and those shoes that I loved. I ended up buying him a pair of shoes because those shoes were so worn out, but I loved them so much. And I remember one of our dates, it was like early on, like I wanted to buy him something, and I said, what do you want? I said, I want to buy you something, like a present. He was like, no, you don't need to do that. And I remember I said, well, I'm going to buy us each a present. And we went to Designer Shoe Warehouse, and he bought, I got him a pair of like loafers that were very similar to that. And I love these loafers to this day. They're like my favorite shoes of his. But anyway, so he like walked in front of my car, and he was like went like that. I was like, oh, you are so screwed. You are so screwed. I was like, he is so cute. I was like, you are so screwed. And I was like, where do you want to go eat? And he was like, I don't care. And I was like, you don't care? And he was like, no, we can go to eat wherever. And I said, well, I live like, you know, I told him where I lived, and I said, you know, what's close to there? And he goes, well, I used to work at Bravo. We could go to Bravo. And I said, okay, we can go to Bravo. And Bravo's like an Italian chain restaurant. We went there. Best date I ever had. Both of us talk about that. I mean, we sat there, we hardly ate our dinners. We just talked the whole time. Afterwards, we went and got coffee. He remembers this. I don't really remember this. There's a lot of cars up here. This is kind of, are there? I can't really see, I guess. But we got coffee and we drove around, and then we went back to the condo and sat around and talked. We have very different memories on how that night ended. We'll just say that. Okay, I remember us getting very physical. He does not. He said we did, but maybe not as physical as I remember us getting. But anyway. And then that was Monday, I think. I'll look up here in just a second when I pull in. How are all these cars here? But they're not even open yet. This is crazy. I mean, it's not packed by any means, but, or maybe not. Maybe there's not that many people in the parking lot. No, there's not. I don't see Valerie's car. I mean, you literally could see it because there's only like 5 cars in the whole parking lot. Oh, their valet is turned off. That's interesting. There's like literally like 6 cars in the parking lot. I'm gonna see if these are people that are like, I'm just gonna do like a spin through, see if these are people that are like waiting to go into the casino. Here's the first car. Yep, somebody's sitting there waiting. An hour and 10 minutes before. He's literally waiting in his car to go into the casino. And here's 2 people in handicap parking. Yep, they're both in their cars waiting. They've got this huge line thing, priority lines and everything out in front. And then here's a pickup truck. I can't see. I'm literally going by all these cars. Why would they just like park so randomly out here in the middle of nowhere? People are starting to pull in. This is crazy. Oh my God. Yep, she's asleep in her car. Oh my God. Oh my God, all these people are asleep in their cars waiting for the casino to open. That kind of cracks me up. Okay, hold on a second. I want to look and see. I think our date was on a Monday. I'm almost positive it was. Okay. It's so bad, you guys. I need my reading glasses for everything. It was a Monday. So after that, so I think I took him home that night. I'm almost positive I took him home that night. Yeah, I did take him home. And he was living with his mom at the time, because he had moved up here like that spring from Bloomington. And I want to see if this donut shop is open. So I took him home, and then that next night we like hung out together again and went on another date, and he canceled his date. And that was like Monday and Tuesday we hung out. We literally hung out like every night after that, forever. And then Wednesday night we went to Champs, and that was when I met our friend Demi that lives in Dallas. He came. And I met Carlos, and Carlos was visiting from Venezuela. He was here for 3 months, and he was actually with a different girl that he was dating at the time. And so we hung out with them, and I got to meet all of them literally 2 nights after we started dating. And then that weekend, Carlos and the girl that he was dating and Alex went to Chicago for, like, there was a family friend of theirs that lived up there in Wrigleyville, and they were going to, I can't remember, like a Cubs game or something like that, and they were going up there for the game. We've told this story on so many, like, okay, the story is really long, but anyway, so we were going up there, or they were going up there, and then Alex called me on Saturday night. Like, he was, maybe it was Friday night. I think it was Friday night. No. It would have been Saturday night. I think he called me on I think it was Saturday night. He called me and he said, come up and hang out with me. And he had been drinking. And I said, do you see like a pattern here? Anyway, I was like, no, I'm not coming to Chicago. And my friend was like, go up to Chicago. That'd be fun. You need to be more spontaneous, and it'll be fun for you. So we were out early, and it was like 9. So I was like, okay, I'll go up to Chicago. So I went home, and I like took a shower and changed and started driving to Chicago. Well, I got like halfway there, and I couldn't get a hold of him anymore. And it was weird. Like I just couldn't get a hold of him. Like it was going right to voicemail and stuff like that. And so there's like kind of the last point before you like get on to like the toll road to go to Chicago and stuff is Maryville. And I was like, if I don't get a hold of him by Maryville, then I'm not gonna go to Chicago. Like, this is stupid. Like, I don't know what's going on, but like, I don't know where I had no idea where I was going because he said he would give me the directions later. So I call him the last time, I pull into this gas station, I call him, and somebody answered the phone, and they were like, hello? And I was like, could I speak to Alex, please? And they were like, Alex isn't here. And I was like, who is this? And they were like, Alex doesn't want you anymore. He's cheating on you. He's with somebody else. And I was like, who is this? And they just like hung up the phone. So I called them back, and they're like, I said, who is this? Alex wanted me to come to Chicago. And they were like, I beat Alex's ass. And I was like, well, where is he? And they were like, I beat his ass and left him for dead, and he's in the hospital. And I go, what hospital is he in? And it went for dead. So then I'm like sitting there at this gas station and I'm freaked out, right? And so I sat there and I waited and I waited, and I was like, I started calling hospitals in Chicago and asking for Alex's name. I mean, I had no clue what was going on. And so I was like, what is the deal? Like, where is he, you know? And so anyway, finally, oh, I didn't realize it got so late. I guess I just said the day at the time when I was at the casino, though. So finally, Alex, I called one. I'm calling one last time, and then I'm going home. And I call, and it goes to voicemail. And he had left. He was smart enough to know to change his voicemail. He said, "Peter, if this is," or he goes, if this is you," he's like, "I got mugged. They stole my phone." He goes, "This is the address, or this is the phone number of the. Please call her, and she'll give you the address of where we're coming." So I called her, and then she put him on the phone, and then I drove into Chicago, and I got into Chicago at like 6:30 in the morning, and the sun was coming up, and I remember like he said he would stay up and wait for me and all this kind of stuff, and like I had talked to him like 15 minutes before I got to this apartment. He said he would stay up and wait for me, and he fell asleep. And so she threw the keys down, and I came up, and I remember I was sleeping on the floor, like in between the bed. Like he and I slept on the floor between like the bed and the window, and then Carlos and his girlfriend were on this pull-out bed. It was like this really small apartment, and the other girl, who's like, I know her really well now, she's like a family friend, she's really nice, and she was like her apartment, and she was living in Chicago at the time, she lives in Indianapolis now. And so Carlos's girlfriend and Alex, like when they got back, like apparently like Carlos had gotten like real drunk being in Chicago, so they brought him back to the apartment, and then Alex and his girlfriend decided to go back out, and they like got mugged by a group of people. Like both of them got mugged, and like Alex got like, he got smart with them, and so like they said something to Alex, and he got like really smart with them, and they like hit him. He said something like, "Did you even go to college?" or something like that. I don't know, it was stupid, but anyway, and they hit him in the face, and he had a black eye. So like the very first picture I posted like of us together, like he has this black eye, and I'm like sitting there and he's sleeping. And so, but I woke up and it's like, is this place open? Is it not open? Did I pass it? Oh no, here it is. And she was like, Alex's family calls him Ale. And so she was like, this looks closed. Are you kidding me? It's gone? Open 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. I was like, are they gone? They don't have any donuts out or anything. Hell's bells. So she was like, she kept on saying to Carlos over and over and over again, and he was like hungover and laughing at her. And she was like, this is gonna be such a mess to piece together. It was like all blurry again and stuff. So anyway, so I wake up and they're like all fighting, and Carlos's girlfriend, who I always really liked, but they just always fought. They just were always like fighting, and like just verbally fighting, you know, but like she was just very loud, and she was basically saying like, you know, like, Alex is important to you and you're worried about him, but you're not worried about me, because apparently he wasn't asking enough about her. And she's like ranting and raving and doing this like monologue kind of thing, and I mean it went on literally forever. So then they get ready to go to, it's so funny when I think about, like, I always liked her. She and I got along fine. She and I got along really well. But it's so funny when I think about her in comparison to, like, Liliana, because they're, like, such, like, they're night and day. And, first of all, like, Carlos is short. Carlos is not tall. Carlos is, like, 5'5" or 5'6", and his girlfriend was, like, 5'11". And, she had, like, long blonde hair, and, she just, anyway, like, he and Liliana make sense together, like, that whole, like, it didn't make sense. And And I can remember, like, she would go off on Alex's mom too, and like Alex's mom, who like challenges everybody and says she wouldn't say anything to her. It was almost like she was kind of scared of her. But anyway, but she wasn't. But anyway, so they decide that they're going to go to this baseball game. That's what they went up there for. Maybe it was a Saturday. I can't remember. But anyway, Alex and I, we ended up, so they go to this baseball game. Well, first of all, she's got on these shorts that have rips and cuts all over them, and you can see her underwear underneath there and stuff like that, and a jersey. And the family friend is like, they're not going to let you in. Like, you can't wear that. And she's like, why not? And they're like, you have to wear, like, appropriate shorts to get into, like, Wrigley Field or wherever it was. And she's like, no, they'll let me in. Trust me. And so they get there. And Carlos was so excited to go to this baseball game. Like, that's the only reason they went up there. And so they get to the baseball game, and then they had to come home so she could change because they wouldn't let her in. So that was fight number 2. And then Alex and I, we walked around, like, just the side streets of Chicago. I remember we ate at this, like, little Italian restaurant that was outside. It literally had, like, 3 or 4 tables, and we ate out there. And then we came back, and we took a nap. And then they came back from the baseball game. And I remember Alex and I drove home. And, like, Carlos and his girlfriend drove home. I think they may have stayed like another day or something. And Alex and I drove home, and I remember we came home really late at night. And he and I stayed at the condo, I remember. And that was like the first night that we like stayed together, I think. We got back to the condo at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I remember we talked like the whole way home and listened to music, and it was so much fun. And he was really, really into Britney Spears at that point. And so we like listened to all kinds of Britney Spears on the way home, and just talked, and we had like just the best time. And I remember he stayed home and stayed over. I think that we came home on like a Saturday night, and then that was Sunday. And the next day, I remember we like, yeah, I think that was like a Saturday night that we went up, that we came home, because we ate dinner there, and then we came back and we took a nap at the apartment, and then we drove home that night because we didn't want to stay like another night, like just on the floor. And like we went to like breakfast, and then we went and saw like a movie or something. And that point on, we were literally together like every night. Like every night we were together. It feels so weird. And then like the week after that was, we were going to do something. I can't remember. We were going to go out to dinner or something. I can't remember what we were going to do. I'm going to pull through the casino again because I want to see. I wanted to pull up here to see Valerie, but she's not here. She's probably asleep and decided that she's not going to go and wait till the morning. But anyway, so that week, so Alex had been in a bad car accident. Somebody totaled his car. Like he was like going through, like somebody like ran a red light and like totaled his car. That was like a month before he and I started dating, so he had no car. And like it hadn't processed through, like, for him to get, like, money to get a new car and stuff like that. And his car was old anyway, and the whole thing was, like, such a mess. And so it was, like, a couple months before he got another car. So we were, like, a one-car family for a long time. So anyway, like, I would drive him to work, and then I would, like, pick him up from work, and we would go out to eat or whatever. But so one day that next week, I picked him up and from work, and he wanted to go back to his house, his mom's house. I can't remember what we were doing. We're going out to dinner with somebody, maybe like one of our friends or something like that. And he wanted to like take a quick shower after work. And so he was like, just come upstairs and sit in my room until I'm done. It's like nobody else was home. And so I said, okay. And So we came in and I sat on his bed, and like Alex had this like bed on the floor, like it was just like a mattress on the floor, you know, in the corner, a very college kind of deal thing. And at 24 years old, and like all these big comforters and stuff. And I remember I was like sitting there, and I was just kind of like the bathroom was right out of the hall, and Alex's mom had at the time, well, they were foo-foos, had 2 cats. And the cats were like meowing by the door. And y'all know, like, I'm not, like, I don't dislike cats, but I'm not a big cat fan. I'm allergic to them, like, really bad. Like, Alex has always had to take allergy medicine when he lived with her, and like when we go over there. So there was these 2 cats, but I forgot that this is like, this stupid light never changes. So I was sitting on the bed, and all of a sudden, Pee-Pee, like, darts out of, like, you can hear the cats, and they're like in the doorway, and they're like, meow, meow. All of a sudden, Pee-Pee like darts out from under. I didn't even know he was in the bed, right? I never met Pee-Pee. He darts out from underneath the bed, and he starts like chasing the cats around and stuff like that. It was so funny. And then he came back into the bed, and he like looked at me, and then he like did like 3 circles, and then he like ran back out in the hallway, and then he came back, and Alex was like, well, I guess you met Pee-Pee. I was like, I met Pee-Pee. And that was it. And that was when I met the little guy, like the week after Alex and I started dating. Seems crazy. Seems so crazy. So much has happened in 12 years, you know? So much. And it's been a good 12 years. It's been tough. Like, no relationship is easy, you know? And then the first time that I really hung out with his mom, she's not here. The first time that I really hung out with his mom was Halloween. So we started dating at the end of August, and then he was staying with me all the time. And the first time that I really like hung out with her was that like her friends in the neighborhood. So there's like a lot of like people in the neighborhood that like all hang out and are friends together, and they would have parties for everything. And so they had a Halloween party, and Alex and I went there before we went out that night. And I remember Alex's mom was like dancing and stuff, and so Alex introduced me, and he was like, go dance with my mom. And I was like, I don't know your mom. Like, I'm nervous. I don't know your mom, you know? And he was like, go dance with my mom. I want you to go dance with my mom. That will make her trust you or like you or something like that. And I was like, okay. And I remember I went and danced with his mom. To this day, it was like, apparently it was like this planned thing to see if they could get me to dance with him or her. And so like they still like joke about it today. But anyway, I did. And then I feel like Caroline had met Alex at maybe once at something, maybe not, I don't know. And then it was my mom's birthday, and my aunt wanted to go out because it was like the first birthday since my mom had passed away. My aunt wanted to go out to dinner, and I remember we went to this Kincaid's place in Carmel. And so we went to the grave site, and it was like Caroline, Mike didn't go, I don't know why, but it was like my Aunt Kathy and Uncle Dave and Caroline, and then it was like me and Alex. And I remember we went to the grave site first because my aunt wanted to go out there, and she was like, and Alex was like, do I have to get out of the car? And I was like, no, you can stay in the car. So we got out of the car, and we like went, and we like said a prayer by my mom's grave and all this kind of stuff. And then we went to this restaurant, and that was like the first time that we hung out with my family. And I can remember after we went out to dinner, Caroline was like, let's go to this like bar and have like a drink because I want to get to know Alex better. And so we went to I can't remember what bar it was the Fox and the Hound. And Caroline and Alex sat there and had like a couple beers, and I had a Coke, and they like got to know each other. And Caroline and Alex are super, super close. And that was kind of us getting to know our families. And then, you know, Thanksgivings, like I would spend with his family and he would spend with mine, and vice versa. And Christmas, vice versa. We would do, you know, both. And that was it. Kind of like after that was like that first Thanksgiving and Christmas, like, and I knew everybody and he knew everybody. We were kind of like in it, but we like spent like, I mean, literally every day together for that first year, I think. Almost every single day. And it was crazy. It was fun. It was nice. Is White Castle closed over here? Is it still open? I know it's open. It was fun. You know, we had so much fun our first year. And then our second year, I proposed to him on his birthday. And that was really fun being engaged. I loved being engaged. Especially like the 6 months leading up to the wedding was probably the best. Like if you're engaged, like it's such a great time. Just really enjoy it. Alex and I have been like talking about wanting to take a trip, and I just looked up and it said Riviera Maya, and I'm like, oh, we're like thinking about wanting to go to Mexico, and I don't know how I feel about going to Mexico if it's safe. But I feel like if you're gonna go anywhere, maybe going to a resort where there's not a lot of people, you know, and you're just like laying by the beach and going to your room might be the safest versus going to Vegas, or, you know what I mean? So that's the story of how we got together. I mean, there's more details in there and stuff like that, but it was fun. It seems crazy to me that we've been together 12 years, you know, when we've been together almost twice as long as I was with my ex, definitely twice as long as I was with my first boyfriend. I know, it just seems completely crazy. He said to me tonight, do you want to hear what he said to me? He said, what do you want to do next year? He said, next year is your big one for my birthday. And I go, what do you mean next year's my big one? And he goes, I mean, it's your 5-0. What do you want to do? And I go, well, no, it's not. I said, next year's my 4-9. And I said, it's not my 5-0. Don't be pushing that yet. He started laughing. I was like, so I don't know what I want to do for my 4-9. For my 5-0, I want to go somewhere big. And he goes, like the Maldives. I said, oh, I would love to go to the Maldives for my 50th. I don't know that we can afford the Maldives, but, and I don't know that I could do the plane ride, but yeah, I would love to do that. But we'll see. He goes, well, if we start saving now, I'm like, if we start saving now, we could redo our house. If we start saving, I mean, you can only save for so many things. There's only so much money in the mortgage. You know what I mean? It's not like money's just coming out of my pockets left and right. He's like, well, if we start saving now, I'm like, yeah, okay, well, let's figure out what a trip to the Maldives will be in 2 years. But I really do want to go to the Maldives. I heard it's beautiful. But I'd be completely fine going to the Caribbean or going to Mexico. I mean, those are amazing trips too, you know? So anyway, we have fun years ahead of us. Very fun years ahead of us. So I'm gonna get off here now, you guys, because I was talking to Mel on the phone today. Hi, Mel! And we were talking about how we have not finished The Night Stalker yet, although she's halfway through. I still have 3/4 of it left, I think, something like that. And I don't want to just read one book in June, so I need to finish that book this week, and I keep on putting it off. So I'm going to listen to The Night Stalker now so that I can hopefully get it done this week. That's my goal, is to finish The Night Stalker this week. So anyway, so I can start listening to some other books and reading some other books. And in July is Booktubeathon, or the Reading Rush. So it's the readathon that I like. So anyway, I'm going to get off here now. If you guys made it this far in the video, or made it this far in the vlog and you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, big thumbs up for me. Hit that like button. Make sure that you're still subscribed to my channel. If you weren't already before, please think about subscribing to my channel. Think about subscribing to all of my channels. I would really appreciate it. And put a blue heart in the comment section below for blue, like the sky, see? blue heart in the comment section below for the wolf pack. All of us out there just trying to get through life one day at a time, enjoying each other's company, and putting positivity, love, kindness, compassion out there in the world. Okay. I hope you guys are having an amazing Monday. It's the beginning of the week. Yeah, I hope you're having an amazing Monday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Make the most of your day. Do something fun. Do something exciting today. Relax. Take some deep breaths. Do some meditations. Start a new book. Start a new movie or a TV show. Just do something for fun. And also do something that will make yourself proud when you look back on it tomorrow or the next day or the next week or a month from now or a year from now or 5 years from now or 10 years from now or 20 years from now or 50 years from now or 60 years from now or 69 years from now or 100 years from now. Anything. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and you tell yourself, I love you, plus one positive affirmation like you are valuable. So I love you and you are valuable. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single morning when you get up and you say, I love you and you are valuable, or one other positive affirmation. Before you go to bed every single night, say to yourself, tomorrow, yes, tomorrow is going to be an amazing day. I'm going to be happy, joyous, and free all day tomorrow. I'm going to have great opportunities come my way and positive experiences throughout the day. And if I get my day off track, because I will be laughing, dancing, and singing and having a great time, spending time alone or with family and friends. But if my day gets off track, then I can start my day over whenever I want. Just go in the other room and say, I'm starting my day over. And when you get up in the morning, say the same thing. Say, today is going to be an amazing day. I'm going to be happy, joyous, and free all day today. I'm going to laugh, I'm going to sing, I'm going to dance, I'm going to hang out with my friends and family, or spend some time alone. And I'm going to have great opportunities come my way, and I'm going to have positive experiences all day today. But if my day gets off track, well, I can start my day over whenever I want. And it sounds like an airline attendant or flight attendant, doesn't it? Whenever I want. And just go in the other room, snap your fingers, and say, I'm starting my day over. It really is that simple. And most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody today and let them know how much they mean to you. Just anybody. Just call a friend up today, an old friend. We've been talking about old friends. Call up another old friend and say, hey, I was thinking of you. I want to let you know how much how much you mean to me, and I love you, and I'll hope to talk to you soon. And also practice random acts of kindness. But like I always say, don't tell anyone. Just do it because it's the nice thing to do. It's the right thing to do. It's putting good in the world, and kindness and love and compassion. I look at the sky and I do not see that. It does not look as bright. So I don't know why the camera picks it up. It looks pitch black to me when I look out with stars and stuff. But anyway, yeah, so practice random acts of kindness, but don't tell anyone. Like I always say, don't tell anyone. And what else is there? Let's see. I think that's it. That's what I always say, right? Anyway, that's it. That's all of it that I always say. And we've come to the end. So anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Have an amazing Monday. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya. Okay, I just had to say one last I love you. One last I love you. Good night. Bye. Love you.